beautiful single unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is indeed the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So as you guys know, I publish singles love predictions every single month, so all of my beautiful little single unicorns can be prepared for the upcoming month of love, and that is exactly what this pick a card reading is all about. And while being single may have its ups and downs, I want you to know that you are not alone on this journey, and that I'm always here to support you and to bring you divine messages that can help you figure out what's going on within your love life, as well as provide you with some healing energy. So if you're all about that type of energy and you already feel cozy and welcome within this beautiful community, make sure that you don't forget to subscribe to my channel. That way you can ensure that you never miss out on another monthly prediction, because I upload each month's prediction towards the end of the previous month, and I've been doing so for years, so you know that you can count on me. So in order to receive your November singles prediction, I have 4 groups prepared for you, and I would like you to pick one of these 4 groups intuitively. So I would recommend that you go with whichever group that you feel represents a love life that you desire. So if, for example, you feel like the tiger's eye represents a love life that is filled with more excitement, and that is something that you're looking for, then pick the tiger's eye. And if you feel like, for example, group 3, which corresponds to the amethyst, represents a love life that is a little bit more relaxed and easygoing, then of course pick group number 3. So it's really up to you and how you intuitively feel about these 4 groups and their corresponding crystals. But now let me formally introduce you to all 4 groups and crystals so you can make an informed decision. So group number 1 corresponds to the tiger's eye. Group number 2 corresponds to the orchid calcite. Group number 3 corresponds to the amethyst, and group number 4 corresponds to the Sodalitic blue quartz. But as usual, the timestamps to all 4 of these groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the top of the comment section. So I will now provide you with a little moment of privacy, so feel free to pause the video right here if you need a moment in order to just observe the 4 different groups and make up your mind. So by now you've hopefully been able to select one of these 4 groups. So I'm about to get into your readings, but before I do so, I would like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor. I would like to thank today's sponsor, Function of Beauty, for making this video possible. As you all know, I'm naturally a curly-haired girl, and I'm proud of that. However, taking care of my curls isn't always easy. So when I first heard of Function of Beauty's customizable formulas, I knew it was the perfect thing for my hair. Having really curly hair that is super thick and needs a lot of moisture definitely calls for hair care that works. And Function of Beauty helps you address your personal hair goals. Some of my personal hair goals are to lengthen my locks, deep condition them, create curl definition, anti-frizz, as well as ensure that my hair is shiny and luscious looking. And Function of Beauty created a formula for me that does just that. And I love how I could even personalize my own hair care down to the color of my product and my preferred scent and strength of that scent. I have been using Function of Beauty's clean, vegan, and cruelty-free products for about a month now, and I've noticed that my hair is easier to style and manage, as their shampoo actually gets my scalp clean and free of any residual product that I may have been using prior to washing my hair. And those are some of my main concerns that I've struggled to address with other shampoos and products in the past, but through creating my personal formula with Function of Beauty, I have been able to address all of those concerns. So no matter what your hair goals may be, Function of Beauty has the perfect formula for you. And the best part is that it gets delivered right to your doorstep. That way you never need to worry about running out of products or having to go out and purchase products, because Function of Beauty is delivered to you on a schedule that you choose. And now it's easier than ever to try Function of Beauty's top-rated signature hair duo. You can get your very first custom formula for under $30, including free shipping. Simply click my link in the description box in order to try your first custom Function of Beauty formula for under $30 plus free shipping. So make sure that you don't miss out on this amazing deal. Click my link in the description box and start creating your very own Function of Beauty formula. Your hair will thank you for it. So thank you to Function of Beauty for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into the readings. So returning back to your readings, I will be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the Tiger's Eye. So if this is the group that you chose, then you can stay tuned and continue watching. And to all of my other beautiful groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello, group number 1, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Tiger's Eye crystal. Let's first do a little close-up of the stone of your choice that resonated most with how you would like your love life to be and just the feelings that you see as positive when you think of your love life now as well as in the future. So the Tiger's Eye is a stone that brings out your natural instincts and is also a stone that is driven by passion. But let's move into your reading to figure out what's coming towards you during the month of November. So first up, we have the Ace of Cups as well as the Empress. So group number 1, this is already an amazing start to your love life for November. The Empress stands for you being centered and feeling abundant. So think of your love life as very fertile grounds for you to find a relationship that you're happy with, or get into a spot where the relationship that you have with yourself makes you really happy. And I can see here within the Empress that simply thinking about what comes next with your home life, with maybe even having your own family, growing your own family, expanding your own family, these are all things that you feel empowered to do with or without a partner. But here with the Ace of Cups, this is actually one of those cards that speaks to you meeting someone really special in a romantic sense. So the Ace of Cups stands for a deepening in your spiritual side, but also feeling really fulfilled within love and meeting someone with whom you could actually see yourself having a family with, having kids with, and growing a family with all in one. So meeting like a twin flame, a soulmate type of person. So do know here that the Empress as well as the Ace of Cups shows that November is going to be pretty juicy for you, group number 1. And I wouldn't be surprised if you meet someone with whom you have really romantic interactions and with whom you already start to envision a future and time spent together building that future. Next, we have the Page of Swords as well as the Four of Cups. So I do want you to know here within the Page of Swords and the Four of Cups that these cards are speaking of someone with whom there is just a dead-end street. So if you're seeing someone casually or you're in a situationship of sorts, you've been talking to an elusive air sign, so someone who has a lot of Aquarius, Gemini, or Libra placements within their birth chart. If you're not sure about someone's birth chart, this may kind of explain why the relationship isn't working out. I can see that this person has been fading in and out of your life, maybe ghosting you a little bit too. And I can see here with the Four of Cups that you're done with it, group number 1, you're over with it, and you no longer want to entertain any of that type of nonsense, especially because with the Empress and the Ace of Cups, you have a new really fruitful situation showing up for you, a situation with a person with whom you can see a future, who respects you and who makes you feel really excited about love. So anyone who isn't honoring you, who isn't cherishing you, who isn't treating you the way that you should be treated, I can see that you're slowly stepping away from those relationships and situationships. In the Tower, I can definitely see that they're not going to like this. The Tower stands for disruption. It stands for things kind of falling apart, which goes together beautifully with what we just spoke about. But let them be mad, group number 1. Allow them to seek your attention, to want you back, and to think to themselves how stupidly they handled the situation, and that if only they would have treated you more appropriately, well, maybe they would have been the one to have a chance at starting something real with you, something that can last in the long run. So they may try to come back, maybe not necessarily in November, but they may try to kind of weasel their way back in the next couple months. And they're definitely going to be really regretful at the fact that they were playing around instead of truly honoring you. I can see here within the Five of Cups that they're dwelling a lot about the situation, about what they did wrong, and they're also trying to avoid confronting confronting themselves. So group one, if you have been talking to someone who has ghosted you, or someone who you just feel plays you or talks to you whenever it's convenient for them, do know that you moving on during the month of November is going to leave them feeling really bothered and is going to make them want to have you back, okay? But it's important for you to know your self-worth and to not go back to someone who all of a sudden wants you when you're not available. It's important for you to stay true to that self-love that you're cultivating, group one, and to ensure that you don't lower your standards because all of a sudden they're coming around. Because once they have you, who's to say that they won't go back to treating you in a manner that you don't deserve to be treated, right? So don't fall for someone all of a sudden wanting you back when it's already too late. So I have a postcard for you, group one. This is said postcard. It says, "Take flight." It is from heaven, addressed to you, and I'm going to read it to you, of course, with a message about your love life during the month of November. Dear you, there is always more than one side to an argument, two sides, if not more, to every story, and hundreds of ways to be right, be different, be at odds, and so on. Today, we suggest that instead of looking for differences, you find a meeting place of agreement and approach this experience with understanding and compassion. Seek common ground to understand how another person thinks or how an alternate plan might be laid. Stay out of judgment too. Observe, discern, but accept that others have different stories, experiences, and journeys, and some people might refuse to remain open to another's point of view. No matter what, you've been presented with a great opportunity to explore a new way of doing things once common ground is reached. You're attracting people and situations that enrich your life and bring you wonderful things to learn. We love you so much. So, group one, I truly hope that was a message that resonated with you in some way, but let's move further into your reading to figure out more about your love life during the month of November and to see who this person is that's bringing this exciting new energy with them and what it has to do with your postcard. We have the haystack. So in the haystack, I can see here that you will reap what you have sown. So do know here that on one hand, it is definitely karma for anyone who has treated you wrongly in love to all of a sudden know that you are off the market during the month of November, but also make sure that you don't go back to them because that karma will affect you as well. Next, we have the stork, which stands for news of a birth or a new business opportunity. And that together with the Empress, it shows high levels of fertility and also someone toying with the idea of a birth, of a conception of a child and a new life being brought into this situation. So I can definitely see passion, infatuation, and your love life being in a healthy place and a place where you are seen as a hot commodity that someone would love to be with and expand a family with. Here in the Six of Swords, I do want you to understand that there will be a little bit of internal conflict when it comes to completely letting go of everybody else who you've ever spoken to. So you may be a little bit worried that if you are set on one person moving forward, one person who is infatuated with you, that you may be missing out, or you may feel like it's too soon to already be thinking about a future with someone. So it's almost like you're embarrassed to be thinking so far ahead, even though you don't know this person well enough to justify wanting to be with them forever. But group number one, there's no reason to be embarrassed or to feel like your thoughts are too crazy or you're already thinking too far ahead. One of the beautiful things about love and life is that you can dream, is that your thoughts are private, and that you can envision a future in your head without having to share that with anyone and just daydream a little bit. So don't beat yourself down for that. Next up, in the Three of Cups, I can see a good time during the month of November, having lots of fun, lots of parties, lots of get-togethers. That may also be where this disruption happens, where you meet this person who makes you really happy, and a disruption takes place with everybody else who has treated you kind of like a second choice, kind of like you are the best option when there's nobody else, or the best option when it suits them. So do know here that the Three of Cups shows me that going out, meeting with friends, family, just overall socializing is a great way for you to meet your forever person, or at least with this person with whom you are moving into a new romantic connection. The King of Wands here shows me that this person is most likely going to be a fire sign or have very strong fire sign placements within their birth chart. In case you didn't know this, Group 1, the suit of Wands corresponds to the element of fire, and the element of fire is what Leo, Aries, as well as Sagittarius all connect to. They are fire signs. So the King of Wands has a lot of those signs' energy, and the King of Wands is most likely also a little older than you. They are very confident. They are a leader, and they're almost a little cocky, okay? They know what they're capable of, and once they're into you for life. Even if the connection ends up for some reason not working out later down the line with this person, you're always going to be friends, and you're always going to have a soft spot in their heart and in their space. Furthermore, the King of Wands is also someone who loves to have a larger family, so think more than 2 children or more than 2 pets. They're the type of person who likes when there's always something going on and there's a lot of adventurous energy in the room. The Three of Wands shows me here that you're going to meet this person when they're in their element. So when they're, for example, working or collaborating with other people on an adventure, maybe, for example, on a hike, and they've done the hike many times and they know exactly where to go, or in a certain part of the city that they are very familiar with and they're the one who can show you around. The Three of Wands and the King of Wands definitely shows me here that they are going to be in a position of authority and power, and that truly makes them feel like proud of themselves because they want to be a protector. They want to be that person who shows that they can be there for you and provide for you. Next up, we have Judgment. So do know here in Judgment that this person definitely is hard on themselves because they always want to be seen by you as someone who is worthy of your respect, and they will work really hard to earn your respect, Group number 1. And in November, meeting this person, you will immediately notice how they definitely have standards for you or anyone else who they would be romantically interested in, but they have extra high standards for themselves, Group number 1, and it shows in the way that they speak about their accomplishments. So they may accomplish something really big, like successfully closing a big business deal, having written a book, having composed a beautiful piece of music, but they will still say that it was okay or that it was just fine, rather than really congratulating themselves. So do know here that they can be a little bit tense when it comes to their own accomplishments because they want to do the best that they possibly can. The Seven of Wands, wow, we have so much phallic energy. Phallic energy means masculine energy. We have more wands here. So I definitely can see that this person is a very masculine person. That doesn't have to mean for 100% sure that they are male, okay? They just have a lot of masculine energy. Any person who identifies as a woman, as a man, or anything in between, you can have a lot of masculine energy, or you can have very little masculine energy. But for your person, Group 1, I see a ton of masculine energy. I see a ton of adventure. I see a ton of movement going on, and them just overall being ready to climb any mountain, to overcome any obstacle, to be with you and to show you that they care. The Five of Wands definitely shows me some competition and some fighting. So they will fight off literally anyone in order to be with you. They are a little bit jealous when it comes to you, and they're definitely going to make sure that they are first to finish the race, that they are the winner when it comes to winning your heart. And if they need to play unfair or dirty in order to truly impress you and get your attention, then they will. This person is very much set on making you the focal point of their world and making it clear that they're interested in you and seeing where your connection can go with each other. I can see here within the King of Knives that they're going to be fending off an air sign. So the King of Knives could be, for example, an Aquarius, a Libra, or a Gemini person. We did have a Page of Swords here, which also corresponds to the element of air, just as the King of Knives, but these are two different tarot decks, so they have different depictions. I definitely want you to know here in the King of Knives that this person is very intelligent. This person is intellectually on a really high level, and they are interested in you as well during the month of November, but your King of Wands person is not tolerating that and is not going to give them too much of a chance to impress you because they want you all to themselves. Here within the Devil, they are tempted physically by you. They find you physically super attractive, group number one, and that is the thing that first draws them to you before they truly get to know you. It's how you look on the exterior plane that sparks their first interest, but then of course they want to dig a little deeper because they're the type of person who is bored by someone who only looks nice but doesn't really have much to offer beneath the surface. The Five of Knives shows me here that someone is getting burnt, someone is kind of hurting themselves, if you will, is suffering, and I can definitely allot that here in the Five of Knives, the King of Knives, and the Five of Wands to this situation where the King of Knives feels embarrassed. They feel rejected by you because you two are choosing the King of Wands over the King of Knives for whatever reason. It may just feel more right to you. It may just feel like the King of Wands is your person, and you just immediately know that the King of Knives just isn't the right one for the situation in your life. The Three of Pills does show me here that you will celebrate together. You will spend time somewhere having a drink, a snack, a dinner, just overall, spending a little bit of money, but that not being the focal point really being conversation and time spent together and being in the same spot, being physically in the exact same space. The Three of Pills definitely shows me here that spending quality time together, that is the most important thing with this person during the month of November, and simply getting to know one another, and also maybe trying to stay away from getting too tempted by being in one another's personal home space or room, because you don't want to immediately jump to getting physical too quickly, because of course you want to get to know the person and make sure that they respect you, because unfortunately in this day and age, while it is up to each one of us to decide how quickly we get physical or intimate with another human being, being intimate very quickly does come with a stigma for a lot of people, even if we don't intend to have that stigma. But when something is very easy to attain, it's like you value it less, whether that is being physical with another human being, being intimate with another person, or whether that is, for example, something that is very cheap. It just automatically feels like not as valuable as the same thing with a higher price tag. It's just like a psychological thing, group number one. Next up, we have the Lovers. Oh, group one, November, it's such a beautiful love story. I can see a happy ending here within November. You feeling like you're in a safe space, like you found someone who you're truly comfortable with, who you can confide in, who understands you and respects you. And while there may have been a few moments of uncertainty and of you not being sure if the King of Wands really wants you, and they're not really sure if you may go to the King of Knives or back to the Page of Swords, in the end you find the road, the journey to one another, and that is all that matters for November. The Sun being the last card to show up in your reading, this is actually one of the best cards within the tarot, one of the most favorable ones. And group number one, the Sun, is all about having a good time, being happy, looking forward to your future, basking in the warmth, sunlight, feeling very close on an intimate level to one another, and just overall knowing that moving forward, love is going to be a beautiful adventure and journey for you. So group number 1, this is the reading that I received for you, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down below in the comment section by leaving a little sun emoji if you made it all the way to the end. I would love to hear from you in the comment section. Thank you for spending this divine time and space with me. For all of you asking, I will link all of the rings that I'm wearing below as well. They're all from my online store and I ship them out worldwide. They're made out of high quality crystals and metals, so make sure that you check those out. Thank you so much for spending this divine time and space with me. And do know that your general November prediction is coming, so stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions. Hello group number 2, and welcome to your reading about your love life during the month of November. So you chose the Orchid Calcite, which looks like this. This is a stunning crystal that brings more light, joy, as well as energy into your life that makes you feel comfortable, at ease, and less anxious. But let's move into your reading to figure out exactly what your love life has in store for you. So first up, we have the 7 of Swords as well as the Hanged One. So group number 2, I can see here within the 7 of Swords that for some reason you are feeling a little bit confused about your love life because you're going through some big transitions. In the Hanged One, I can see that for some reason there is a sacrifice that is present and that needs to be made within your love life. Now this sacrifice could mean leaving someone behind, leveling up instead of being with someone who you know is just not on the same level as you need them to be, and overall maybe also letting go of exes or people who keep coming in and out of your life whenever it serves them, but they don't make a commitment, and cutting those ties, feeling like it is a confusing time and maybe feeling like it's a setback, but at the same time knowing it's the right thing for you to be doing. Next up, we have the 9 of Cigarettes as well as the King of Cigarettes. So I can definitely see here within the King of Cigarettes that we have the King of Fire signs, okay, and the King of Cigarettes, that corresponds to Leos, Sagittariuses, as well as Aries, and I do want you to know that this is a very phallic type of sign, which means a masculine one. And the 9 of Cigarettes, I can see here that this person has accomplished a lot within their life, and they're the type of person who is of course interested in a relationship, but they definitely want it on their own terms. And I can see that there is this confusion with this person here in the King of Cigarettes in November for you, because on one hand you are kind of interested in seeing where it can go, but on the other hand they may be a little bit too bossy, too controlling, too misogynistic for you, to the point where you don't really know if you want to make the sacrifices that they would want you to make just in order to make them feel comfortable in the relationship, because you want more equality. I can see here within the star that November is not all confusion. It's not all about the King of Cigarettes and what they want. In the star, I can definitely see here that November is for you also about renewal, about harmony, and finding yourself, finding your voice and what is important to you. And it doesn't matter whether the King of Cigarettes is the CEO of a Fortune 500 company or anyone else who society puts on a pedestal. You are not going to compromise your integrity or sacrifice something you don't want to sacrifice, your own morals and values, just in order to make them happy. So it doesn't matter how much someone else has, you are not going to lower your standards or bow down to them in a way that you know is bad for your self-respect. I can see here within the Dawn of Cups that there's another person for you, group number 2, and the Dawn of Cups is the dawn of the element of water, because the Suit of Cups corresponds to the element of water. So think Pisces, think Scorpio or Cancerian. The Dawn of Cups also shows me here that they are roughly around your same age. They're still figuring out their life. They're still figuring out what they're doing, but they are discovering new things about life and themselves every single day, because they're super curious and open-minded. And I can definitely see here with the star that this is a way better fit and match for you, not just for November group number 2, but just overall, this is a better person for you to be with, and I would definitely recommend that you stick to the Dawn of Cups group number 2, because this is someone who will respect you the way that you need to be respected. But let's move further into your reading to figure out more about your love life during the month of November, shall we? Next up, we have the moon. So you're following your intuition on this one. So yes, you are here to receive your reading, and it's definitely going to give you some insight and clarity about November, but at the end of the day, you're following your gut feeling, you're following what your inner compass is saying, and that's the best thing for you to do, because you don't want to be in a position where you think to yourself, oh, I should have listened to my gut feeling or my instinct. Make sure that you do so right from the start. The Knight of Pills is someone here who has a very grounded energy, who is telling you to do the exact same thing. So think a friend or a family member to whom you are discussing this situation with, okay, with whom you're kind of looking at these two people, the King of Cigarettes as well as the Dawn of Cups, and they too are kind of telling you to just go with what your gut tells you to do, and that is a real friend. A real friend will never impose their opinion about your love life on you. They will never project their own insecurities onto you and your love life. They're just going to kind of tell you to go with what feels right and be there for you if you need support. And that is exactly what I see in the moon and the Knight of Pills, that you have someone to rely on. So if you're asking them a question like what you should do in a situation and they don't give you an answer, don't get angry or frustrated, group number 2. Know that only a real friend is going to let you make up your mind for yourself, then look at what may benefit them or what they think personally. Next up, we have the Star. Again, we've already had the Star show up twice within your reading, and the odds are really low for this to happen, group number 2, because in the Star that we received first, this is a tarot deck, so this has 78 cards, so chances are 1 in 78 for you to receive the Star every time we lay the cards. And here within the Star, this is the Tea Leaf Fortune card. It's not a tarot set, it's actually a way larger set of cards with it's precisely 200 cards. So your chances to receive the Star is 1 in 200 within this deck. So just think about that. 1 in 78 and 1 in 200. And the Star stands for guaranteed success. So group 2, your reading is actually looking really fabulous, really great. You are definitely going to have a successful time in November when it comes to romance and your love life in general. And it's most likely going to be the best month of the year for you romantically. I can see here within the Owl that it's important for you to take advice from a wise person, from a friend who is there for you, who has been through a similar situation as you have, because even though November is a really great month for you, of course you will still have moments during the month of November where you feel a little bit slower, where you feel like things are not exactly how you want them to be, and you're just human, group number 2, so don't beat yourself up about it, but listen to some advice from people who have come before you so you can move as quickly as possible back into the energy of the Star, which is all about success, feeling hopeful, feeling like there's a lot of joy and a lot of things to be grateful for within your life. Next up, we have the Hermit. So group 2, you're kind of going to disappear for a little bit for some people, especially if you feel like you found the right one. Here within the Dawn of Cups, you're kind of going to disappear and ghost the people who you may have been talking to prior to November, some people who you were friends with. But you know when you're friends with someone and it's like you're both single or one of you is in a relationship, and you know the friendship is maybe not just based on friendship, but if you were both like single at the same time and spent enough time together, something may happen in that connection, but just nobody has been brave enough to say anything yet. I can see here in the Hermit that you're not going to be talking to anyone with whom you're in that gray area with very much in November. And I see here in the Hanged Man that to you, you're just kind of putting those relationships on ice for a little bit, as they're not really doing much for you romantically, and you're realizing how they're actually slowing down your progress when it comes to love and when it comes to finding a partner, because having too many friends that a potential partner may have to watch out for, that is always a little bit of a difficult topic, and a topic that not a lot of people like to have to deal with when they're dating. I mean, just think about it. If you're dating someone and they have a lot of friends who you feel like they could potentially be attracted to or might potentially be attracted to them, that can be a bit of an uneasy feeling. Here within the Nine of Swords, I can see that you are definitely going to go through a time of overthinking things and wondering whether you're good enough for this lover, whether you're good enough for the Dawn of Cups. But group number 2, there's a reason why you're here receiving this reading, and I definitely want to uplift you and remind you that you are good enough for a love life that fulfills you. You are good enough for a person who respects you, who takes your feelings into consideration, and who ensures that they talk to you before they move ahead with anything. I can see here within the Ace of Cups that you're starting a new relationship during the month of November, or the opportunity at least is here. So you would have to take it group number 2. I know not every person who is single wants to necessarily be in a romantic relationship, but in the Ace of Cups, I can see that it's possible, okay? There is a successful relationship opportunity that is right here for you in November, and it's up to you whether you feel ready to embark on that journey or not. And again, doing so intuitively, as we spoke about in the moon, is one of the most important things that you can do there. The Knight of Diamonds does show me here, as we have here in the Knight of Pills, because the Knight of Pills is actually the exact same card as the Knight of Diamonds, just from 2 different decks, that there is definitely a type of energy here with this friend or family member, with this close acquaintance, that makes you a little bit worried that they're not going to like the decision that you made. So as much as you say to yourself that you make decisions for you and for no one else, of course you also don't want to make decisions that close friends or family members are going to find to be the wrong decision or are going to question too much. You also want to make sure that your other relationships, your platonic ones, stay intact. So I can see here in the 5 of Crystals that internally you definitely are looking to make a decision that can allow every area of your life to flourish, not just love, but also your other friendships and relationships. And compromising that is not really something that's on your agenda and is not really something that you want to do, group number 2. And I totally get that, and it is of course your right to not do that whatsoever. The 5 of Swords is definitely also a card that shows me here that you're looking for different ways how you can overcome having to share too much about your love life before you know for sure. So not having to communicate what's going on in your love life in November until you have really solidified a relationship. And it can be hard because your love life is in an interesting spot. You're meeting this new person, the Dawn of Cups, and also the King of Cigarettes, and you want to share the exciting news with other people, but at the same time it's like you don't want to overshare, because if it doesn't work out, you don't want to keep being asked about that person or why it didn't work out. So I can definitely see here in the 10 of Wands that you don't want to invest too much time and energy anymore into introducing anyone or talking about anyone to your friends and family until you know for sure that they're the one. Like, you don't even want to tell your best friend about this person or just anyone romantically until you know, like, okay, this might actually go somewhere. Otherwise, it's just really not worth your time and energy. The 9 of Wands is an indication that you are trying to tie up loose ends, finish up projects that are way overdue, and this is something that is making you feel like you're spread thin a little bit and like you wish you had more time for your love life. And I can see here within the Ten of Swords that even though there is a lot of success within your love life, you still kind of feel a little bit conflicted and a little bit alone and like you're not quite 100% sure what to do. But this is all about you trusting yourself, group number 2. It's not so much about who is in your love life and who isn't. It's more about you finding it within to trust yourself and to know that any choice that you make is a choice that serves you and is a choice that is valid and that you don't need to overthink. So if you're a chronic overthinker, group number 2, that explains why the Ten of Swords has showed up as well as the Nine of Swords. But this is not something that you can necessarily just solve in one quick busy month where a lot is going on for you romantically. This is definitely something that you should work on for a little bit. I would highly recommend to meditate, and if you don't feel comfortable just sitting in silence for long amounts of times or even 5 minutes, put on some sort of very uplifting music, but just beats, no words. There's even meditation music or some sort of speech. Like for example, Alan Watts is one of my go-tos when I don't feel like just being in silence and listening to nothingness and I want to meditate, but at the same time I don't want to be confronted with my mind jumping too much. So that kind of gives me something to focus on so I can easily meditate. It's all about just getting into the habit of being less anxious. It's not about perfection, simply showing up for yourself and trying. That is all that counts. So don't be hard on yourself, group 2. So this is a reading that I received for your love life for the month of November. Leave a little snowflake emoji down below in the comment section if you made it all the way to the end and this is the group that you chose, so you can let me and others know. Thank you so much for being here. Do know that your general November predictions are going to be up sooner rather than later, so be on the lookout for that, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming readings. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your November love prediction. You chose the Amethyst, so let's do a quick close-up of your crystal so you can get acquainted with its energy and vibration. This is the beautiful Amethyst. This is an iconic purple stone that I would say belongs in every household, so make sure that you put your amethysts out so they can help guide you intuitively, because that is the type of energy that they bring forth. But let's move into your reading so we can figure out what's coming towards your love life during the month of November. First up, we have the Four of Rings as well as the Eight of Wands. So in the Eight of Wands, I can see alignment as well as progress for you in your love life, and the Four of Rings shows me here that you're being very practical about it. So you're not going to enter any type of complicated love triangles or relationships at all in November. You're all about ensuring that your love life serves you first and actually elevates your life and doesn't take away from it or causes more stress and tension than the love and happiness that it brings and creates. So the Eight of Wands definitely shows me here that aligning yourself with those values is the most important thing for you to do in your love life in November, and that will immediately lead to progress and you feeling like your time is used wisely and you're not spending any time on relationships that don't serve you in the long run. Then we have the Hanged Man as well as the Five of Cigarettes. So in the Hanged Man, I can see that you're going to rest for a good portion of the month of November in that type of vibe, which is just a very strong kind of vibration. It is a vibration that is really empowered and that just shows that you are matured. Like you're not in a spot where you're trying to please others first. Of course, people pleasing may be something that you're still working on optimizing or getting rid of, but do know here in the Hanged Man, the Eight of Wands, and the Four of Rings that November is a month where you're really just shoving aside other people's opinions and wants and needs, and you're focusing on your feelings about love. The Five of Cigarettes, it does show me here that there may be a little bit of friction when it comes to what you feel passionate about. It may feel to some people like you're being selfish And that's okay. Group number 3, other people can feel like you're being selfish. Let them, because at the end of the day, if you try to please every single person, or if you try to make everybody feel comfortable with your life decisions, then in the end, you're spending more of your life trying to optimize it for others than for yourself. And in the end, you have no control over other people's feelings anyways. So you might as well do what serves you when it comes to romantic love and follow the truth, follow who you truly are. We have this card that popped out for you, which is the Death card. So do know, group 3, that if you have been feeling closeted about your romantic preferences, the death of that is coming in November. You're going to basically jump out of the closet. You're going to open it up wide and allow for yourself to be who you've always wanted to be. And feeling closeted can also be the case for people who are straight, but who maybe have just other preferences. Some people like to be in relationships with others who are very successful, and maybe you're ashamed that you'll be called a gold digger. Maybe you're interested in someone who isn't conventionally beautiful, who's maybe a little bit larger or heavier. And you're going to stop hiding that, or stop feeling ashamed of your preferences, and finally step into your truth. And of course, if you're interested in people who are of the same gender of you, or who identify in the same way that you do, then you're stepping out of that closet. That is one thing that I see here as a big change and revelation for your love life during the month of November, group number 3. So this is a very important month for you, and one that I look forward to when it comes to your progress. I can see within Judgment that this makes so much sense as to why we receive the 8 of Wands as well, which speaks of aligning your values, and that being big progress, because the less you judge yourself and the less you care about judgment by others, the more you can really start living your life, and the more you can really start enjoying love and exploring love in a way that was maybe difficult in the past because you felt constricted or closeted for whatever reason. Of course, the examples that I gave you are just examples, but I want you to understand what I mean. Next up, in the Devil, you're feeling a naughty, group number 3, and I can definitely see here in the Devil that feeling naughty and ending a era where you weren't able to fully be yourself or be as wild as you want to be romantically and sensually is something that's going to like unleash a side of you that you maybe had slumbering there and you knew it was there, but it could also be just completely new to you as well. And you're going to go a little crazy when it comes to being sensual with yourself, exploring your body, and also exploring what pleasure means to you. And it could feel really forbidden. It could feel like you're doing way too much. So that is also why the Devil is showing up, because there are some conflicting feelings there as well. But the more that you step into your truth and into your own romantic and sensual preferences, the more you will know that anything that feels wrong with your body and the sovereignty that you have over your body all just comes from a place of society programming you, as we have here in Judgment, and just seeing things through this like pink lens, so to say. So basically society only giving you the spectrum, even though there's a lot more for you to see and experience. So the more you can then free yourself from societal conditioning and live your best life, group number 3. Next, we have the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune shows me here that this is a big elevation for you. November is a huge energetic upgrade that's coming towards you, romantically speaking, and it is going to take for you to adapt to how people are reacting to that, but also adapt your expectations to not having any expectations whatsoever, and simply just allowing yourself to experience life through this new lens that you hadn't experienced life through before. But know that the Wheel of Fortune generally speaks of positive changes, positive shifts, and elevation situations in a favorable direction. The star does show me here that that is confirmed. Your angels and guides are with us right now, group number 3, and they're confirming that harmony as well as renewal as part of your November love life, and something that you should look forward to, especially having like a reset of yourself, okay, like a reload of who you truly are, and not having to be afraid of being judged or other people caring so much about what you do privately or what your preferences are. That is just like the best inner peace that you could ever experience, and just being unbothered is a big vibe that I see here for you. So we have a postcard for you, group number 3, which reads, "You are magical" on the front, and I'm of course going to read your postcard to you. So, dear you, what is true for you? Can you be impeccable with your word? Sure you can, as long as it's not used to manipulate others. The truth can set everyone free. Let go of the results, let go of your fears, and allow the truth to empower you and others. This will set into motion a kind of change that will be supportive of you and loving and all kinds of prosperous. This is not a time to compromise and hide your truth from others. Whatever it is you want, go for it and be clear in your motives, especially with yourself. You will be so happy you did. This is a time where you will tap into the power to co-create and manifest your best life. Does that feel amazing? And the results? Miraculous. When you tell the truth and ask the same of others, you can learn a lot from life's bountiful lessons and achieve your dreams. Love you always. So I truly hope that you appreciate those messages and can find wisdom in them, group number 3. But let's move further into your reading to figure out more details about your love life during the month of November. So we have the fountain. The fountain here shows me that overall November is going to feel really fulfilling by the end of it. While there were definitely some points of tension or fear, especially because you're stepping out of feeling closeted or constricted in your love life, do know that the end result is definitely going to be magical and is definitely going to be very supportive, as we also had in part of the messages within your postcard. I can see here in the Ace of Wands that moving forward after November, it's going to feel like a fresh slate and a new start for you romantically. And like being authentic is the only way to move forward. So you're never going to feel like you're going to go back into the closet. You're going to be out for good. And the Ace of Wands definitely shows me here that it's giving you a lot of very empowered ideas for how you can step out of the closet in other areas of your life as well, such as in your career, for example. If you've always felt like your boss or coworkers just haven't trusted you with as much responsibility or haven't given you the type of tasks that you really want to do, stepping out of other people's shadows and also showing like, hey, I'm a strong individual and I have wants, needs, likes, and dislikes as well, and I'm going to express those even if you don't like them. I can see here within the 5 of Swords that some people are definitely going to start to feel threatened by you, group number 3, and some people are going to worry that you are going to ruffle too many feathers and it's going to disrupt the harmony. So think of that also being potential friends or family members who don't want you to live so freely or speak so openly because they're worried that you may lose your job, that you may lose your social status, whatever it is. And that is like their main concern, and they're projecting their own insecurities about how they would feel losing those things onto you, and kind of putting that pressure on you, like telling you like, hey, what will others think of you and how will that affect you? So in the 5 of Swords, I can see that there is like also genuine concern, but at the same time, it's not helpful to you, because what's the alternative? Living a life that is inauthentic is not a reasonable alternative. And Some people who can be a little bit more conservative or old-fashioned can struggle to understand that truth. The King of Swords does show me here that regardless of how others try to hold you back in your pursuit of authentic love, you're going to stand your ground and you're going to stand tall and proud. No matter what type of colors, what type of preferences that entails, the King of Swords is eloquent and intelligent, and they know it. And that is the exact energy that you are putting out there, group number 3, that you know what you want. You know that that doesn't take away from who you are as a person. It doesn't take away from how intelligent or worthy that you are. It actually adds and just shows that you're mature and confident and living your truth. The Sun is a very positive card. This is actually one of the most favorable ones within the tarot. And again, here with the Fountain, it just shows a really positive outcome for November in your love life. And your November reading isn't so much about being in a relationship or finding the one. We spoke about this in the 8 of Wands and 4 of Rings at the beginning of your reading, group 1. If you remember that, make sure you leave a little bird emoji down below in the comment section to let me and others know that you're still here and that you remember us talking about how love needs to be practical and needs to serve you. Love isn't about drama. So you're not really linking up with anyone so intensively during the month of November because you can just tell that there's a lot for you to do, romantically speaking, and with your own romantic preferences, that there's not really any point in bringing someone else into the picture as you're so busy. The 4 of Coins shows me here that another thing that you're meant to focus on is your career and is your financial situation. The 4 of Coins shows me that you may be holding on very strongly to some of your finances, which is kind of squeezing your flow of abundance as well. And if you don't let things flow and don't let things move and you feel very constricted and afraid about money, then that actually just attracts more lack, right? Because you are on a vibration of lack, which, as the law of attraction states, will just attract more of the type of energy that you're putting out there. So this is another message that you're being called to become aware of, group number 3, and to try to distance yourself from that vibration and change your frequency. I can see here within the barrel that you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. That is literally what we just spoke about here in the 4 of Coins. And the 4 of Coins shows that the matter that you feel is lacking is money. And again, I explained to you exactly how you can stop that, because the more that you think thoughts of lack, the more you're going to put your energy into that. So the more of that you're going to attract. So instead of putting your energy and worry into thoughts of lack, try to script and manifest thoughts of abundance. Try to put your energy into thinking of your life as a very abundant situation, and also scripting by writing down you living an abundant life as if it's already happened or happening right now. So instead of worrying that you won't be able to pay your bills, actually write in your journal like, I am abundant, I can pay all of my bills ahead of time with ease, and my life is a life that is financially fulfilled, that is financially full of everything that I need and more. Then last but not least, we have the Valley. So I can see here in the Valley some deep personal strength and peace that assures success. And this just ties in so beautifully with the personal strength that we have been talking about with you, and just coming out and being honest about who you want to be with, the type of person you want to be with, how they look, where they live, how much they make, what their orientation is on a romantic level. All of those things here in the Valley, you stepping out of feeling ashamed for having preferences or things that you find really attractive, and simply allowing yourself to go for it. So this deep personal strength and peace is going to assure success moving forward. You will already find that success in your personal life and with how you feel about yourself, and do know that it will come when it comes to your finances as well in the earthly realms. But you have to try to not feel a sense of lack and overwrite those feelings with a sense of abundance. Even if you're just going to have to pretend for the first little bit to manifest, it's better than putting your thoughts and energies into thinking thoughts of lack. Trust me, group number 3. So group 3, this is the November love prediction that I received for you. I hope that you found it insightful and that you enjoyed it, and that you can also appreciate my honesty that I'm of course not going to read this big love story coming into your life, or this knight on a white horse coming in and, sweeping you off your feet. That's just not realistic. So I read the cards as they are, honestly and purely, and I hope that you can appreciate this and that you find value in a reading that is centered around what is truly happening and what is going on for you, even if that doesn't mean a twin flame situation or a conception of a child or anything like that. So group 3, thank you so much for being here and for spending this divine time and space with me. Know that I'm sending you so much love and care, and I can't wait to catch you during one of my upcoming videos. Hello, group number 4, and welcome to your November love prediction. So you chose the Sodalitic blue quartz. Let's do a quick close-up of the stone. This is really rich in color, and this stone is actually pretty soft. It's not as solid as the others. It's very porous as well. So while it may seem very strong on the outside, it has like a soft, squishy inside, so to say, group number 4. So that may relate to you as a person. Let's move into your reading so we can figure out exactly what's going on in your love life during the month of November. So we have the Two of Swords as well as the Four of Wands first up. So in the Two of Swords, I can see you being a little bit indecisive about love, and the Four of Wands shows me here prosperity and harmony being at the forefront for you. So you're indecisive because, of course, what you want is prosperity and harmony, and you want to make the right choice romantically for yourself in order to support that. I can see here within the Tower reversed as well as the Eight of Diamonds that you are very focused on your career, your work, your earthly pursuits, things that bring you money, status, time, as well as extra energy, because when you're successful, you're often filled with energy when you're doing things that you love. And I can see here within the Tower reversed that you're building yourself back up from a bit of a difficult and tricky situation. So because things have been looking up for quite a little bit for you when it comes to love, I can see that you're frantically afraid and indecisive because you don't want to fall back into a really difficult place. So if you've, for example, gone through a tough breakup in the past, group number 4, and you never want to go to that place where you feel weak and vulnerable again, or where you let someone take advantage of you, it makes a lot of sense why the Tower shows up in reverse in the Two of Swords, because you don't want to make the wrong choice, and that can stress you out quite a little bit. But do know here in the Four of Wands and the Eight of Diamonds that these are symbols of you prospering, of you being in a good place financially and with your career. So when you're afraid to take action, you could actually be stopping extra abundance and extra money from coming in, extra promotions, and so on. Next up, we have a metamorphosis. So in metamorphosis, I can see profound change and self-awareness. This profound change is definitely coming from a place of you understanding that something needs to change within you in order to get rid of this indecision and anxiety that you may have developed around love. And you have to become very self-aware and maybe even do more shadow work than you're comfortable with in order to get to a place of more harmony and self-confidence, especially. Now, you may not even know what shadow work is. Let me quickly explain group number 4, because I know a lot of you are kind of fresh to this whole spirituality thing, but know that everything that you need is already within you. These readings are here to bring it out of you more easily and make you aware of the tools that you have. Now, shadow work work, that means confronting sides of yourself that you don't love, that you struggle with. For me, for example, shadow work has a lot to do with looking at my ego, looking at how I am in relationships, and whether I can kind of bring the ego side of me down more, the side of me that sometimes, of course, wants to be right or wants to be the one who is bringing solutions to the table, and if I can be more considerate of the other person's emotions as well, and looking at sides of you that you could improve on. That's not always easy, and it's definitely something that will kind of challenge you in your self-awareness and in your comfort level, because no one wants to look at things that they don't like about themselves. But I can see here in the Hierophant that you're devoted to your spiritual journey and you're increasing your knowledge day by day during the month of November. And this is definitely also something that is helping you romantically, because the more you are truly connected and aware of yourself and your capabilities, the more you will find that the right people gravitate towards you, because you're not attracting low vibrational people into your life. The Ten of Cups shows me just that. The Ten of Cups is a card of abundance. This is a symbol of fulfillment, especially emotionally, as the Suit of Cups corresponds to the element of water, and the Ten of Cups is that ultimate fulfillment, that ultimate happiness. So do know, group number 4, that at the end of the month of November, you will feel fulfilled. You will feel like your love life is in a good place. Now, whether that is just with you being by yourself or with another person, we have yet to figure that out, group 4, but do know that overall you're going to be very pleased and happy with your love life. So let's pick a door to see where you're going next in your love life in November, shall we? So let's go with this door, the blue door. Very interesting, group 4. We have the Art of Life. There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin. Let your love dance in sight. So be unafraid, group number 4, and allow yourself to be bold, especially once you connect more with spirit. And often what we think is really bold is actually not that bold. So do know here that you may have been playing it safe for a very long time in love, and that may also be why love maybe hasn't been as exciting for you as it could be. Next up, we have this beautiful door, which stands for your intuition, simple and complex. Words of pain or words that heal, you come to know truth by the way that it feels. So being very intuitive and using that as a door to success, romantically using that as a gateway to happiness, is what your guides are trying to speak to you about, group number 4, and trying to point out to you. So if you have been relying more on being rational rather than actually consulting your intuition, do know here that your guides want you to return back to taking your feelings, your gut feeling, seriously. Next, we have the Four of Wands. So the Four of Wands shows me here that spending time with other people and cultivating healthy, stable relationships is what's going on for you during the month of November. And those healthy relationships are also platonic ones. And I can see here that they're helping you in your career because you feel like you have a lot of balance and you feel like you're surrounding yourself with people who get you on a more spiritual basis as well, even if they're not people who are super heavy on spirituality. The King of Swords, it does also show me here that there is someone who you are intuitively being guided towards in November. The King of Swords is the king of air signs, so think Libra, Gemini, and Aquarius energy. The King of Swords is a very phallic and masculine symbol and energetic frequency, so this person is definitely all about acting. They're not a very emotionally intelligent person necessarily, and by by not emotionally intelligent, I mean that by no way, shape, or form to insult them. They are intelligent, they are book and street smart, but it is hard for them to read emotions, is what I mean to say, group number 4. So you may have to help them a little bit with that, and they may have a little bit of an ego when it comes to you telling them like, hey, you're not the best at reading emotions. I can see here within the 9 of Swords that that is definitely something that they're afraid of, that they are going to scare you off or scare you away because they are a little bit aloof of feelings and they're a little bit unaware of how to read feelings. But I can see here in the 2 of Cups that romantically speaking, things can still work out for you in a romantic manner during the month of November, as the 2 of Cups is actually one of the most favorable cards when it comes to romantic relationships. So a lot of fears that this person has definitely stem from a place of just worry and a place of overthinking. But you know, if they're an air sign, then it kind of goes without say that they overthink, because I don't think there's an air sign in this world that doesn't overthink absolutely everything. If you're an air sign watching this, sorry to call you out like that. But now let's move further into your reading. We have the Jug. So in the Jug, I can see a very lighthearted, carefree time for you romantically in November. So there aren't going to be any huge decisions that you're making romantically. It's just overall going to be a favorable, fun time for you where you feel like things are in a good place. The Weeping Willow shows me here that someone is experiencing family sorrow, and maybe that's also why your love life just overall being in a good place is so healing and so important for November for you, because this family sorrow or family tragedy is something that is affecting you. So it doesn't have to be your family. Oh, okay, we have the dog far away. It's definitely a friend that I can see here in a dog far away. This card that just popped out of the pile as we were talking about the family sorrow. So do know here that this has to do with more of a distant friend, not an immediate family member. And the King of Swords is going to struggle a little bit to support you as well, but it's fine because you don't need extra support from a lover. You are strong enough to be there for your friend and for this person who's going through a hard time. The pin shows me here that starting a new job or new career is on your mind as well, especially as things are going so well in your career right now and you're confidently pushing forward. It's like you're asking yourself, okay, what can I do next? Like, I've already been able to accomplish so much here. What can I do next moving forward? What can I do next in life in order to level up everything within the close proximity to me? So group 4, you're definitely not just dreaming big, but also truly thinking of how you can change to living a life that sparks more joy. The Knight of Knives shows me here that you are unafraid to kind of like not be manipulative. Group number 4, don't take this the wrong way, but if you're working at a job right now where you feel undervalued or underpaid, even if the people are nice there, like, you're not afraid to just leave. You're not afraid to act like everything is okay, but then hand in your notice as soon as you find something better, because, well, life can be kind of a little bit cutthroat like that. And at the same time, you have to look out for yourself, because people can be as nice as they want to be. If they're not paying your bills or not paying you up to standard, up to par with your value, all of those niceties don't really matter if you're in a place of employment, because you're there to make money. The Hanged Man does show me here that you're going to stay just a little bit longer at your place, because they may actually come back with a counter offer, like the current job that you're doing or the current place that you're studying may actually turn out to still serve you for a little bit before you actually move into a new career path and change things completely. So for example, if there's just like one little extra diploma that you can easily get by just staying an extra half a year, that is one thing that I see you doing, but then afterwards moving on. The 5 of Pills shows me here that when it comes to your finances, just overall, making sure that you don't drain them too much is important. So just because you're making more, make sure that you don't start spending more. That would be a lifestyle inflation, which is not good and leads to just bigger problems. And I do see here within the sun that as long as you're smart with your finances and you don't share them with anyone who you're seeing romantically, you're going to be good. So ensure that you don't trust anyone too soon with anything that can affect you financially, group number 4, and that you save that for marriage or a more committed partnership before it's even part of the equation. So group 4, this is the reading that I received for you, and I truly hope that you enjoy my honesty and the fact that I do not pre-create groups, that I just read them freely the way that they come up, almost like it's a live reading, and that of course not every month is a twin flame month or a month of finding the one. That is really unrealistic, and it's important for me to ensure that I am honest and straightforward with you on my channel at all times. So I hope that you can appreciate that the month of November in your love life is a lot about you and not so much just about infatuation with another person or a crazy love story, and that you have a lot to fill your space with as well. So group 4, this is the reading that I received, and I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Thank you for being here. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll catch you during one of my upcoming predictions.